This was Chris Jericho's 30th anniversary in wrestling. So, of course, there's going to be a celebration. He's going to have a feature match, et cetera, et cetera. And all through the thing, at the cold open, here's that nothing makes sense. Everybody, the faces and heels, were putting Jericho over as a superstar and a genius in the cold open. Even Jungle Boy, who had an issue with him. It's too bad they couldn't use any of the footage from when Jericho really was a superstar and a genius. Somebody else owns all that. But why are the babyface and why Jericho's the heel, but the fans were standing and cheering and saluting him? What fans they let in the building, and the fake fans too, the fans that are actually the boys were standing and cheering him. But then he wrestles as a heel. I don't fucking know. Anyway, at the top of the program, they have that cold open. Jim Ross introduced the guests at the announce desk. Taz, and of course his protege Ricky Skaggs. Did you catch that?
Did you see Ricky Skaggs' face when he got called Ricky Skaggs?
Yes, I did. And then Tony said he's a banjo player. Then they go to the first match, which is the FTW title, which of course they can't say it, but stands for Fuck the World, and was featured with Taz in ECW 23 years ago. And this match is Will Hobbs versus the champion, Brian Cage.
You call him Will Hobbs. Just like Jim Ross called Ricky Starks Ricky Skaggs, he kept calling him Willie Hobbs throughout the whole match.
Well, Willie or won't he? We don't know. I couldn't tell by this match. They were trying to explain what the FTW title was and why it's supposedly important. And you know I like and respect Taz, but this is fucking ridiculous. Because Taz with the FTW title in ECW in 1997, with Paulie's haphazard but meticulous at the same time booking, and the title controversy that they created over the real ECW title versus the FTW title, all that fit. That worked. This is an ECW mark bringing something back, expecting everybody else to know what the fuck it was from 23 years ago when ECW wasn't even on national television. Or it might have been on national, quote-unquote, cable, but nobody knows except the goddamn people that watched this at the time what the FTW title is. And then the heels should take it seriously. Taz and Brian Cage should take it as serious as a heart attack, but the company and the announcers should scoff at it. And it shouldn't be being defended just as a matter of course on the AEW television show. It should come out of a goddamn dispute between two individuals where they make something out of it, where it's not a real championship, but it's something about honor, respect, or fucking getting even. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
They just announced FTW title. Oh my God, the prestigious thing that's never been seen outside of Taz's closet since 1997. But anyway, Will Hobbs, he's got a lot of potential. He's got size. You can tell that fans take to him. He's got charisma. He's got energy. They've been pushing him over a few weeks. Let him save the baby faces. Of course, they want to feature him on television, but this is the first match of the show, Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage, for a championship that is questionable at best. And as soon as the bell rang, my color TV turned bright Kermit green. Will Hobbs has all kind of potential in the world. He's not ready for this. These two should not have had a long singles match on television. Brian Cage, and everybody's been saying, you keep saying Cage is green. He's been wrestling for X amount of years. I don't care how long he's been wrestling. Green is not a length. Green is a state of mind, and Brian Cage is green. That's just it. I'm sorry. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a ton of potential. He's farther along than Will Hobbs. He's a beast physically. He can move. He's got a good look. But he can't lead a match this long on national TV against a guy this green. And so this match, they could have hid this in a tag. They could have had a veteran work with Will Hobbs. They could have done a package telling the story, explaining, which they have, that he's a trainee, but also Did you hear the announcers just drop in? I think it was excrement. Oh, yeah, Hobbs' brother got shot dead while shielding him from gunfire. Well, fuck, talk about burying the lead. They've had this guy running out, swinging a fucking chair, hitting heels in the head. Start with that goddamn story. Start with that package. Let him do one thing to call attention to himself, like saving a baby face or something like they did, and then instead of having him running out all over the place, stop down and tell the story. Do a package on his history. He's done this and that, and his brother was shot while shielding him from gunfire, and he dedicates his matches to his brother, and he's trained here, and he's done this, and then give him a reason to be green and a reason to have a handicap against more experienced guys. Even though he's a physical moose, he doesn't know what he's doing yet. So he's going to get taken advantage of, or he's going to make mistakes. That's the way. And then you put him in with guys that can lead him and keep it short. And then put him in longer tag matches where somebody else can sell for him and give him a fucking tag. Or give him stipulations against a top heel, like, I can beat you twice in 10 minutes, kid. And he beats him once, but he doesn't beat him twice, so Hobbs wins. Shit like that. Bring him along. This would have been a good match at an OVW flea market show. We used to run the Derby Park Expo 5 once a month, and there's where I'd put the guys that were ready to be in front of people, but not ready to be on TV, and probably not even ready to be at Six Flags. And they would have a match just like this, doing moves to each other, practicing shit in front of 95 people. But for guys having to go this long with just moves back and forth, at least they didn't have any flips and they didn't go 100 miles an hour. But then at the finish, they gave each other German suplexes, and both of them popped up without selling them, and then hit each other with a double clothesline and laid there forever. Then traded bad forearms instead of good punches. Hobbs hit a spine buster for a 2 count and missed a frog splash, and Brian Cage dropped him on his head. Literally. And that read better than it was. For a while, I wished it had been Hobbs versus Ricky Skaggs. I would have even taken Ricky Starks. That's what it should. Hobbs versus Starks would have been fucking good. Starks would have been a little fucking chicken shit heel. Hobbs would have been a big moosey baby face. Starks could have led it and cheated to get him down. When you put the big guy against the big guy and they're both green, it just hurts both of them. And then Taz did the promo offering Will Hobbs a chance to be in Team Taz or get the shit kicked out of him. And before he could answer, Darby Allin, for the first time ever, his music plays, he just walks out with the skateboard, steps in the ring, the heels calmly left, stepped out. Taz called him a rotten punk. It's like everybody started doing slow motion, and that was it. What was that?
I don't know what that was. It was weird that they just casually walked out of the ring. When he got in there and he put his skateboard like down to the mat to show them, like, I have the skateboard. And they said, oh, well.
Don't make me use this.
and they reacted like, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
just walked out of the ring. I thought the match was all right. It got better as it went on. The early parts I thought were a little bit messy at times. Like you said, I was surprised when all of a sudden, because, you know, I was about to call him Willie Hobbs like Jim Ross. Will Hobbs is new to us, so we don't have too much backstory when Excalibur just casually dropped into the match that, you know, his brother died shielding him from a bullet, which is just such a, you know, amazing story to have.
Just thought I'd mention it.
A goofball commentator drop casually into this match where you have 5 people, well, 4 people. Ricky didn't really talk. You have 4 people on the mic at the same time talking. And that's all I got. I'm very high on Ricky Starks, even though he didn't do much here. The mannerisms and the looks that he gives towards the camera. He's a natural. He's great.
I wish he'd have been in this. We got congratulations all through the show for Chris Jericho on his 30 years from Slash. Dennis Miller, he's still alive. Remember when he was funny and or cool instead of a miserable right-wing fuckwit?
Well, him and Jericho share a lot of the same beliefs.
Tanahashi, Ted Irvine, terrible Ted Irvine, and Bubba Ray Dudley. on that go-round wished him well.
Anyone who would respond to Chris's text appeared on this episode thanking him.
Well, come on. Yeah, now you don't even have Shaquille O'Neal's number, so we can't diminish this too much.
But I have Patrick Ewing's.
Well, and can you give it to me? Lance Archer did a promo about Jon Moxley, and they did a good job. They can be serious. It's Archer and Moxley next week.